started on what I wanted to go over tonight. Is there anything from the membership or leadership that they hope to have addressed before we get started?
I'm good to go.
Thanks, Brian. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. And then I'm going to go to this one here, my Google Slides. And I am going to let's see. Okay, everybody seeing this Google slide?
Yep.
Great. Yep. Thank you, guys. Okay. All right. I wanted to follow up with from our meeting 2 weeks ago at Granville High School. We had gone over the presentation from USA Lacrosse that talked about navigating multiple fouls, and it was a really great presentation, I think, for our membership and for the guys who were actually at the meeting. It seemed like the things that we went over, a lot of us have navigated multiple fouls before. We've thought about simultaneous fouls. We've seen presentations. We've gone over things a lot. But what I think you want to do is make sure that you always have a good sense of what those look like. And if you notice in the rule book, one of the major editorial changes that they made, and their editorial changes when the rule book is like grayed out. So like all the writing is grayed out. There's been editorial changes. And if you look at that rule in the 7th section under the simultaneous foul section, the whole thing is grayed out. So what that means is they rewrote that section totally. And if you go back and you look at your 2025 books and before, you'll see wording that we all kind of learned and we're going by. It's now rewritten, and what they're telling us is it clarifies it. And as you know, when we went through the scenarios, some of that stuff was like, wait a second, is that, am I thinking the right thing? And a lot of us had questions, and I let everybody kind of pair up or group up and talk about those situations. So and there seemed to be a lot of like, wait a second, is that really correct? The ruling that USA Lacrosse gave us and the rulings that I shared with you, some of you were like, I'm not sure I'm even following this anymore. So I kind of took what I always do when I struggle with these things. I went back to the rule book and I went back and broke down each scenario a little bit further, and then tried to put it with the actual section of the rule book. So let's take a look at that again. I'll go through kind of quickly the opening slides and try and get to the actual situations that a lot of us went through in our brains, and then some of us might have struggled with, and see if we can get a little bit more clarity, work these through a little bit. And that's what you have to do really a lot on your own, is you want to try and work through these scenarios as much as you can and keep testing yourself, because when you're on the field and under stress and working with a coach and trying to describe it with your crewmates and to those coaches and to those players, you want to, make sure you have some confidence. And that's why we do these trainings, and that's why we keep practicing, and that's why we keep making mistakes, and then hopefully following up with ourselves and with our teammates and getting them right as much as we can. So this is the presentation. Let's go through this here. Let me make this scrolling. Oops, no thanks. Sorry, guys, I am trying to figure out it's so weird. Okay, there we go. How do I? Okay. You guys see the next slide?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Again, this started with that agree or disagree. Simultaneous fouls mean that fouls occur at the same time. And this is false. Okay. So the word simultaneous is usually what kind of fools a lot of people who don't really do our game or know the rules of our game. They start to see that word and they're like, well, doesn't that happen, at the same time? No, it's actually, it talks about when the penalty time starts. So that's really like the word play in this. And you have to kind of get used to that it doesn't mean exactly what we would often think about what the word simultaneous means. And you have at least one time serving foul on each team is really what we try to look at as the definition. So we look at it in another way as there's live ball. That's when there's a whistle that starts play to the next whistle that stops play. And then there's this blue wall, this wall, and we have live ball on one side, we have dead ball on the other. And dead ball is when the whistle stopping play with the next whistle starting play. So we kind of think about these intervals, as they're called. Interval 1 is generally called the live ball stuff, and interval 2 is generally called the dead ball stuff. And we don't really have a name for interval 3, but it's kind of a combination of both live ball and dead ball situations. All right, let me just keep going, and hopefully some of us have seen this before. Some of us have seen it said different ways, but we'll try and get to the same thing. What do you do when you have multiple fouls? Well, take a breath. We said that. Try and get calm. Wait till things settle down, and then when you have multiple flags, when you have multiple fouls, get together with your partners and try and figure out what exactly is going on and what happened. We try not to explain to the coaches before you talked with your partners. And I just saw a good video where Matty Palin was in a PLL game, and he's shouting, "Let me talk to them first." He's shouting at the coaches, actually. So, that's kind of the general rules. Let me get it straight. Let me find out what everybody has, because we all see different things, and your attention may be somewhere where you threw the flag, and your partner's attention, as we know with our mechanics, can be somewhere else where they threw the flag. And then we're going to come together and try and get a sense of exactly everything that happened before we jump to any conclusions. And we want to then talk about that order of occurrence, when things happened, what players were involved, what numbers, where are we in the game? We always talk about the temperature of the game, and some things are really easy, and then some things you kind of have like, well, that guy was really angry, and why was he really angry? Sometimes we ask that too. And then, like, how do we restart the game? These are all things that you're going to be using your brain and your memory and and talking to each other. I mean, of course, we want to try and keep this game flowing. So this sort of happens quickly, but don't rush it. Okay, if it needs to be talked about, talk about it. And as you know, in our rule book, there's various sections where we look at a lot of this stuff. 7.2 is talks about penalty time. 7.3 is how do we resume. 7.5 talks about the dead ball fouls, and 7.6 talks about simultaneous fouls. So we talk about, where exactly are they referring to multiple fouls, and we often find stuff in like 7.2D and 7.6 give us guidance on how to break down a play with multiple fouls. So we have these two groups, live ball and dead ball, and then a foul during live ball and one during a dead ball are never considered simultaneous. So we'll kind of see what they mean by that in a couple of slides here. 7.2D, right there at the bottom of this slide is sort of where they talk about what they talk about in 7.2D. It's like when will these players be released for all time serving penalties called on players of opposing teams from the time the flag is dropped or the whistle sound stopping play, whichever occurs first, until the sounding of the whistle resuming play. The longest common penalty time between players of opposing team is non-releasable. So we're going to lock them in, as is all penalty time of a shorter or equal duration. So you got 30 seconds on team A, you got a minute on team B. If you're putting them in the box together, a simultaneous foul, that first 30 seconds will be non-releasable for both teams. So that's sort of what 7.2D does for us. Where else does it address multiple fouls? Both rules talk about when fouls occur, and looking carefully at fouls when they occur will make our decisions easier. So if we look at these intervals, think about the three. There's the first foul, play on or play on or flag down until play stops. And play generally stops on the whistle. However, the whistle can be late. So go with the act, not the sound. Sometimes we are delayed in our whistle, but that play kind of ended because of a number of reasons, and we'll look at those reasons. And then the end of the play until the whistle restarting play. Well, that's our dead ball time. And then we may have those things work together, and that's really what we look at and what we talk about when we get together. When do these things happen? So generally, when we're reporting it, take your time, get to the T. One good thing is do all your colors first. So do the white team, the home team first, and then do the away team, the black team, second. Of course, coaches will sometimes want an explanation. Tell them, let me report these first, and then I'll come talk to you. And that's where that the E and C note, that explanation may be necessary. Maybe not. You just don't know what's gonna be clear or what's not. So be willing to explain if you have to. And that communication can go a long way in helping the coaches understand, and helping the coaches, uh, be okay with what's going on. Really make sure that the table team knows what is going on. You have to make sure you're communicating that there are simultaneous fouls. For a certain amount of time, these will be non-releasable. Okay, so just making sure that everybody knows what you called and why you called, and you really want to speak clearly. You want to take a deep breath and make sure that everybody can understand what's happening. And it really helps to have that relationship with the table where they can say, "Oh, are these non-releasable?" And you have that rapport with them to make sure that they know what's going on and for how long these penalties can last. Then we think about and talk about restarting play. Where are we going to restart? So if both are live ball fouls, the team with less time gets the possession. If any fouls take place during dead ball, well, we really got to look at sequence. So, who did what to who first or second. The last team offended gets possession. If all live ball times are equal or dead ball sequence cannot be determined, the team originally with possession or the team that's entitled to possession should get the ball. If you can't determine that, then go to the AP or go to the face-off if that's what was supposed to happen. Some of the things we also think about are where the ball will get restarted. So if we have a live ball foul and a live ball foul, we kind of leave it where it was restarting, and that's kind of really good enough. If you have a live ball foul and a dead ball foul, then you can think about, well, we start dead center. Unless that offense is in their box, then we can just pull it out laterally. So interval 1 again is that live ball side of things, and interval 2 is generally that dead ball side of things. In these intervals, we don't want to extend interval 1. So there's, when you have a live ball foul, use an immediate whistle when appropriate. So you have a loose ball personal foul, you're not going to keep that going any further. You're going to loose ball. You're going to stop that play and adjudicate the foul properly. If you have a foul by the team in possession, end the play. Okay, that's another general rule. And then, of course, in our goodies, the acronym that helps us understand how long a slow whistle can go. That second foul in defense, in most cases, will end the play as well. So these are some situations that we want to keep in mind as we go through. If there are fouls on both teams in that live ball section, the first foul, all right, we have a play on or we have a flag down until that play stops. You're going to have simultaneous fouls. Any foul committed after play ends is in interval 2 and is not simultaneous with these fouls. So it's going to be looking at some of these examples. It'll show you why we think about things in this way. All right, so these are some of the situations that I asked you guys to describe. And like I said, what I did was I kind of separated this for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through A, B, C, D, and E separately. So let's do that. And this may help. This is what I was thinking may help all of us as we go through these. So in the first situation, we're in interval 1. These are live ball fouls. In this case, in these first 5 examples, we're going to look at the ball being loose and these live ball fouls occurring. So in interval 1, A, it's a loose ball. A1 pushes B1, so we have a play on, and then B2 goes off sides. So the answer that we have is we're going to award possession to team B. And then we got to ask ourselves, well, why? All right, so I just went and copied and pasted from the NFHS rulebook the section 7.6, articles 2, 3, and 4, and inside of it, what you realize is you can find out why we would do it that way. All right, so in this case, we have A1 pushing B1, play on, and B2 goes off sides. So when A1 pushes B1, who was intended to get the ball? B, right? So if you look at it and you look at Article 3, all right, you may say, well, are they both? Well, no, because no penalty time is served if there is no play on or flag down. No, that's not really it. Look at Article 3B. No penalty time will be served by the team in possession or entitled to possession if that team only commits technical fouls. So there's no, B was going to get the ball, even though B2 went off sides. That's what ends the play. All right, that's what ends the situation. But B was supposed to get the ball. Nobody's serving time. Okay, so that's how you kind of look through your rule book at this. 7.6 Article 3 tells you that we dismiss B2 going off sides because that just ends the play. All right, let's take a look at the next example. You have loose ball again. All 5 of these first ones are loose ball. A1 pushes B1, play on. A2 goes offside, and B2 holds A3. Okay. So we know from our rule book, all technical fouls cancel out. Award possession to team B because they were entitled to initial possession. Remember, A1 pushes B1, play on. This is going to be a B ball. A2 goes off sides, technical foul. Look at 3B again. B2 holds A3, technical foul. All right. These technical fouls don't do anything because the team entitled to possession is going to keep possession. And that's how you consider these. You just look at this rule and you see the answers are right there written in front of you.
Would we not whistle after A2 goes offside, though?
That's what ends the play.
Like before B2 holds A3, we should be whistling this, right?
Yeah. So
The
you
second
have,
foul.
this is loose ball, remember. So we had a play on, and now we have another technical foul, and we have another technical foul. And they don't actually say like the order of this. These two things could have happened at the same time, but no matter what, we had the ball, the possession of the ball going to B. They were entitled to it to start. All these fouls are actually technical, so we just kind of, everything goes away. There's no penalty time served. We're just gonna kind of chalk it up to every foul is technical. Let's just keep it the way we were gonna call it. That makes sense?
And then you're going to go 6-on-6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have all technical fouls. All right. If you look at Article 3B, no penalty time will be served by the team in possession or entitled to possession if that team commits only technical fouls. All right. The only way, if you look at C, all right, and that's also part of A too. No penalty time served. There's play on or flag down. In fact, and all our fouls are technical. Now look at C. That's really where you start to get a difference. All players will serve penalty time if the team in possession or entitled to possession commits any personal fouls. Okay, so like your brain goes, oh, okay, and we'll see some examples of that as we move forward as well. Here's C. These again, loose ball. A1 slashes B1. A1 slashes B1. So this is a personal foul. We have a flag down, and then B2 steps in the crease. This is what ends the play. All right. Now our whistle may come a couple seconds after, but that's really what ended the play. A1 serves a 1-minute foul and award possession to Team B because they were entitled to get the ball. The Team B was entitled to get the ball, but they only committed a technical foul. Team A committed a personal foul. All right. And this was a loose ball. So it's A that's going to serve for that personal foul, and Team B is just going to get the ball. The stepping in the crease is what basically ends the play. A is going in the box for a minute. B is getting the ball like we normally would. Right? You can kind of see that in your article there, Article 3 there. And Article 2 also says an immediate whistle shall occur when a foul is committed by the team in possession or entitled to possession during a flag down, slow whistle, or play on. So that's where we end, because Team B stepped in the crease, we end it. And then we look at Article 3B, and it says no time will be served by the team in possession or entitled to possession. They were entitled to possession if they only commit technical foul, which is stepping in the creases, a technical foul. They don't serve, right? No time will be served. All right, you start to see this. All right, let's look at D. A1 pushes B1, play on. A2 slashes B2. All right, so we have play on. B's going to get the ball, yet A2 slashes B2. So we have a personal foul now. Well, A2's got to serve for that personal foul. Team B is going to get the ball. That A1 push by B1, that doesn't serve here because it says in Article 3, all players will serve time if the team in possession or entitled possession committed any personal fouls. Well, they weren't entitled to possession. B was entitled to possession. All right. So we don't consider that push serving time. We just consider the slash serving time. All right. Because they weren't entitled possession. Let's look at the final example of this loose ball section in the interval 1 area, these live ball fouls. Loose ball, A1 pushes B1. We have the play on. B2 slashes A2. All right, now this is where we get a little bit different here. We're going to have B2 serve a 1-minute foul, and A1 serves a 30-second foul. Okay. Why is this? Well, we look at Article 3, and we look at C now. All players will serve penalty time if the team in possession or entitled to possession, when A1 pushed to B1, B1 was going to be entitled possession. All right, and that's what it says in C. All players will serve time, and that's where you get this idea of both of them going in the box now. And that's where you start to see it, okay? Because B was going to get possession on this loose ball, but now they've committed a personal foul, and that's going to throw everybody into the penalty box. And 30 seconds of it, that common 30 seconds, the least common denominator, will be non-releasable by this Rule 7 section or Article 2D, which that tells us why they have that 30 seconds together. Okay, that's kind of that first example of where Article 3C comes into play. All players will serve penalty time if the team in possession or entitled to possession commits any personal fouls. Okay.
How many of the coaches know this? Because that coach is going to say, A1 is going to say, that was a loose ball push by my player. Why is he serving time?
And you'll say, by rule.
Right.
By rule. And, maybe, but by rule, if the team entitled to possession commits a personal foul, all players will serve. All right. That's probably your easiest way out of it. If you can remember, Tom, by Rule 763C, good on you. I'm probably not either but I am gonna say, Coach, when we have a personal foul by the team entitled to possession, all players will serve. Okay, that's probably the way that's the way I would get out of it, or explain it, or get to the point of it. All right, let's look at the next set
Luke,
of.
real quick.
Yeah, Jay.
Aren't we then also? I mean, that play on isn't dragging on for 45 seconds, right?
No, because if A1 pushes B1, play on. All right, A1 push B1. I got to play on, and then I see a B2 slash. That
It has to be right away. That's my point. We aren't letting that play on go for any real length of time.
For a loose ball, no, probably not. But it doesn't talk about the amount of time here, Jay. You're right. I mean, but still, if you got a slash, you got a slash.
Yeah, like think about if it happens, like if you have like a little scrum and then the ball is on the ground, you have a guy that pushes someone from the back, you have a play on situation, and then bam, like, I mean, yeah, in those situations too, you really want to blow it dead, but then you see a guy come in like a hammer or like an axe, and then bam, slashes the guy too.
You're both right. Jay, you're right, and Josh, you're right. Okay, but we're not talking. This scenario is kind of a simple scenario. We can't really.
Right.
We don't know how much time is going by. But if we have this, if you have a personal foul of a slash, in the quick afters of a play on, that's the way
Right.
this scenario shows. Okay, so you're both
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's look at a couple
Hey,
more.
Luke.
Yeah, Josh.
Hey, real quick question. If you can go back to that slide. So I guess I'm just gonna be like devil's advocate in this scenario. Like, let's just say you have play on, and then the slash happens. But in this scenario, like me and Jay were saying, we're like, it's gonna happen quick. Could it even go to like potentially like if it's almost like dead ball to like it could be unsportsmanlike?
Absolutely, yeah, and we'll probably see an example of that in the future. Remember,
Right.
we're right now we're working all in interval one. We're considering these examples as all live ball.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, yeah. So yes, we'll probably see a scenario coming up here where we go into what you just said, where we go, that scenario was in live ball. I blew the whistle to end it, and then the slash happened. Well, now that one's in dead ball.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And we'll look at what that means using the rule and what that means for penalty times and for restarting the ball and all that stuff. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So a couple more examples or situations that we can look at are this is team A having possession now. Okay. So just a few situations or examples where we have a team with possession. The ball is not loose. All right. So A1 wards and then B2 slashes A2. Okay. So like I said, I broke these down individually. I think they're easier to look at. And I'm giving you the US lacrosse answer. And then I'm giving you what you picture in your mind from the rule book and what you study from the rule book. So A1 wards and then B2 slashes A2. So B2 is going to serve a 1 minute foul and A2 is going to get possession of the ball. All right. So the ward doesn't really change anything except you were just about to blow the whistle, but B2 slashes one of the 8 attacking players. So you still got to call that personal foul slash. And even though that's what ended the play, the ward, you still got to call that personal foul. If that's what you saw, if someone saw it or you got it, the flag still has to come out and you still have to call it. So in this case, B was going to get the ball, but now we have a personal foul. All right, because this is all in interval one. So what we consider is this all happened kind of in live time. All right, the whistle did not. You didn't quite get that ward call out and kind of get the field settled. You saw the ward and then B2 slashed. All right, all live ball stuff. All right, so we look at our rules and we say, well, B2, you're going to serve your minute penalty, and now that that's happened. And after order situation G, team A is in possession again. Remember, B2 slashes A2 and then A1 wards. All right. So similar type thing. We can't really change anything here. B2 is going to serve that 1 minute penalty. A1 warding is what stopped the play, and they're going to get the possession of the ball. All right. So you had that flag down, B2 wards. Well, they're not going to go serve 30 seconds. That's not a personal foul like we look at in the Article 3C example. It's just a technical foul, so they don't serve anything. We're not now putting them both in the box like that former example where you had the team in possession committing a personal foul. You have the team in possession committing a technical foul. They don't go serve for that. All right, then that's because of what it says in Article 3B. Okay, starting to see it. All right, here's example H. B1, illegal body check on A1. Then B2 slashes A2, followed by an A2 holding, a technical foul. So what we have here, the answer given is B1 serves a 1 minute illegal body check. B2 serves a 1 minute slash, and team A has possession. Really, when you kind of consider this as all live ball, A's holding doesn't, by the rule, Article 3C, it doesn't really hold up to them sitting in the box. Okay, it's not a personal foul. Those two guys are going to go sit. They both did personal fouls on the team with possession. Those are the ones that are going to sit for a minute each. Starting to make sense? In example I, B1, illegal body check on A1. Ball becomes loose. All right, you've got your flag down. A2 pushes B2, right? We've got a technical foul on A2. Well, again, A is not going to serve. They're the ones who are going to, had possession, they were entitled to possession. It's B1 who's going to serve that illegal body check, and team A is going to get the ball. The A2 push really doesn't do anything because by rule, like by Article 3B, that was only a technical foul. They don't serve as well. And this is like, I hope you guys are starting to see, like, I think many of us thought that by the way it was talked about 2 weeks ago and by the things I'm listening to, you guys thought everybody would go into the box. But look at Article 3C. It really says only when the team in possession commits personal fouls. All right. And that's really why I wanted to like hammer these ideas home to you. All right. Let's keep going because there's some really good examples. In J, B1 slashes A1, ball becomes loose. B2 holds A2. So we have a B1 personal foul, then we have a loose ball B foul. So we have B1 serving 1 minute slash, B2 serves a 30-second hold, and then we have a team A possession. All right. So where do you see where in this rule that I'm giving you, why are they both serving? Possession.
Hey, Luke, they're serving because not all the fouls were technical fouls, so it wasn't only technical fouls. There was a personal foul and a technical foul.
Okay. All right. So
By
in
the
this-
same team.
by the same team. Okay. All right. So now the like we don't call these simultaneous fouls. We just call these fouls by the same team. You know, you've got when that slash occurred, and even though the ball became loose, A was entitled to possession. All right. A was going to get possession, and then they got a hold on them as well. So now they were entitled possession in a slow whistle, flag down. That hold is going to serve as well. Okay. And I would also recommend that you get into your rule book in the 7-6 section, and after the rules that are written here, there are the what they call ARs, the examples of these various rules. And those are a lot like these, except they actually go maybe a little bit deeper, and they may help describe the way to think about these things a little bit more. Okay. All right, let's look at some simultaneous fouls in interval 2, which is our dead ball situations. I like that at the bottom. If random equipment checks are done on both teams and violations found, treat them as simultaneous, even if one violation is discovered before the other. So we don't care when you're in a dead ball and you got equipment. It's not like we're gonna do one and then the other. It's gonna be simultaneous, and then we look at how do we restart the ball for that, and that's 7.2D. Will tell us a lot about that. But in most cases, the order is known when we look at these dead ball fouls. So we know who threw the first punch. You know, we know who slashed who first. So we can kind of look at those things in most cases. If you don't, then you'll go to looking at it different ways. We'll just treat them as simultaneous fouls. So like in the middle there, it says in a scuffle, you can keep track. If you can keep track of the order, do so. If it becomes too much, don't worry about it. We'll just treat it as simultaneous. Everybody's going in the box. And then we'll figure out the right way to restart this by, you know, who has like the most penalty time, who has the non-releasable time, who is supposed to keep possession, you know, who is entitled to possession, that type of thing. All right, here's the examples that we're going to look at real quick, and then here I kind of broke them up again just to help us kind of focus in on what we're looking at. So in these examples, we're going to say Team A is due possession. Okay, these are dead ball fouls. A1 has a conduct foul, and B1 has a conduct foul, and there's no order to it. So as you can see, the answer is technical fouls when sequence cannot be determined, cancel each other out. Team A ball because Team A was due possession. This is this is something like the wing guys on a face-off are jabbing each other. In this case, we're gonna go to the face-off. But because Team A in this example is due possession, they will continue to have possession They cancel the technical fouls, cancel each other out. Good time to start warning these guys that you're very close. Someone's going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct foul next. Usually in the cases that I can remember over my time doing this, that's usually enough. And then sometimes you just got to throw them both in the box and play 5-on-5. I told those guys at the meeting that that's sort of the things I think about with this. Let's look at another example. A1, you have a conduct foul, followed by B2 having a conduct foul. Again, technical fouls. You knew the order, but technical fouls, you're going to award the teammate, award the ball to team A. Okay, pretty easy there. All right. B1 conduct foul, followed by A2 conduct foul. All right. Team A is due possession. Well, in this case, if team A was due possession and B1 commits the conduct foul first, they're the ones that are going to serve the 30 seconds. Yet, team B is going to be awarded the ball. Okay, so now you got to kind of flip-flop your mind. Team A was going to have possession, B conduct fouls. That means that I'm going to give the ball to team A, but A conduct fouls. Okay, so now I've got B serving their 30 seconds, and it's going to be B ball. Okay, this is like I could hear you guys like, how am I going to explain that to the coach? Well, this is the way that dead ball conduct fouls can work. When A was due possession, B conducts, and then A conducts. We have an order. We had possession going one way, we had it going the other, and then we had it going the other. Someone's going to serve and someone's going to get the ball. And in this case, that's the way it looks. All right, team A is due possession again. Here, A1, we have an unnecessary roughness. And for B1, we have an unnecessary roughness. We don't have an order here. Okay, so A1 and B1 serve penalty for both their unnecessary roughness, and for that, they're non-releasable. If the penalty times are equal, team A, who is going to get possession, will keep possession. And if they're not equal, one of the unnecessary roughness is 1 minute. The other unnecessary roughness you gave was 2 minutes. The team with the lesser amount of time will get the possession. Okay, and that's how we think about interval 2 dead ball fouls. We adjudicate them by that standard. We award the ball by the lesser extreme, I guess. Team A is due possession again in this interval 2. A1 unnecessary roughness followed by B1 unnecessary roughness. So we know the order of what's going on. We're going to have both teams serve the penalty. A1 and B1 serve the penalty for unnecessary roughness. Common time is non-releasable. Team A, regardless of penalty time, because we know the order now. All right. In the first example, we didn't know the order. And in this example, we do know the order. And then we restart at dead center of the field on the offensive half of the field, or the regular restart outside the box laterally if that's where the ball was when this all occurred. Okay. We have a B1 unnecessary roughness personal foul, followed by an A1 unnecessary roughness personal foul. Team A was due possession. B has the first one. We know the order. And then A1 has an unnecessary roughness after that. So in this case, we've got A1 and B1 serving for the unnecessary roughness. Any common time, if they're not equal, would be non-releasable, of course. And it's Team B possession regardless, because it was A who committed the last dead ball foul. That's how we knew the order, so we know how to award the ball as it says in Article 4 there. Okay. Couple more. Now, though, we're going to look at when face-offs are pending. So in this case, we have dead ball, interval 2 dead ball fouls when face-offs are occurring. I break them apart for you. Okay. A1 conduct foul, B1 conduct foul. We don't know the order. Okay. Remember what we say. Technical fouls without sequence cancel out. We go to the we do the face off in that case. So that's the wing example I see a lot. When those two guys are ribbing each other on the wing line, this is what I see a lot, and this is where that warning can really come in. I wouldn't just I've actually run up to the two guys and I've been like, cut it out. You're really close to getting a personal foul or an unsportsmanlike conduct, and the coaches are usually yelling at them as well. So that's a good time to really try and be the authority in this. Again, this is a face-off pending. These are dead ball interval 2 fouls. A1, we have a conduct foul, followed by B2 conduct foul. We don't put anybody in the box by the rule. And we're going to give the team A the ball because we know the order of these dead ball fouls. It was A1 first, B2 second, A gets the ball because of that. You know, you're going to see all kinds of different scenarios here. I wouldn't get too caught up in them, but you should know how to adjudicate them. So you don't see them that often, I guess is what I'm saying. But if you do, this is the way you do it. Think about dead ball. Think about order in that case. We have a face-off pending, and it's a loose ball, of course. A1, unnecessary roughness, and B1, unnecessary. We don't know the order of these penalties. So both are personal fouls, so they're both going to serve their penalty for unnecessary roughness. Any common time, they're 1 minute and 2. The first minute will be non-releasable. If the penalties are equal, then conduct an if penalties are equal time, then award the possession following your 7-2D. You know what was going to happen. All right. You need to follow that. Probably you're going to have the face-off, right? In most cases, you'll conduct the face-off because you don't know who is supposed to get possession, but those guys are going to go sit. So you're playing 5-on-5 basically. All right. A1 unnecessary roughness followed by B1 unnecessary roughness. A1 and B1 both serve their unnecessary roughness fouls. Any common penalty time is non-releasable, as we talked about. And if the penalty times are of equal time, A gets possession. If there's unequal time, because you knew the order. You knew A was first, B was second. So A is supposed to get the ball. All right. So that's how you kind of always with these dead ball fouls. If you know the order, then you can give possession. If you don't know the order, then follow your simultaneous foul possession 7-2D rules. Okay. And the interval 3 stuff is the live ball, dead ball stuff. There's a few situations with this. You have a loose ball situations in interval 3. A1 pushes B1, play on. B2 goes off sides, whistle, and then B3 slashes A2. So we had some live ball stuff, and then we have a dead ball thing. All right. So the live ball stuff looks like a push, an offside, technical fouls. But the B3 slashing A2, well, that's going to serve time. B is going to serve the 1 minute slash, and that tells you that team A is going to get the ball. Fairly simple. All right. Ignore the technical fouls there by the rules that we talk about in the rule book. B3 with that dead ball slash, that's going to serve. A1 pushes B1, play on. A2 goes off sides, technical foul. Then B2 slashes A3, we have a whistle, and A1 slashes B1. Okay, so now this is where it starts getting heavy, right? Because we got live ball technical fouls. Your whistle came after a personal foul, and then you have then you have another personal foul. So the answer that they give us is A1 serves 30 seconds for the push and 1 minute for the slash, because A1 pushed, had a play on. A2 goes off sides. A2 is going to serve as well. And B2 is going to serve as well. And because A1 was due possession, but they commit a personal foul, as in Article 3C tells us, now everyone's going to serve their time. And that's how you look at that. And then, because that was a dead ball foul by A1, you're going to give the ball to Team B. All right, start to make sense of these things, knowing this section of the rule book, you can start to see why all this starts to you're able to decipher it. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying you're able to decipher it using your rule book. B1 holds A1. A1 slashes B1. We have the whistle. Those were live ball fouls. Now we have dead ball. B1 and A1 get into a fight or a scuffle. The answer we have is A1 and B1 are ejected for fighting. Team A serves 4 minutes. All right. 1 minute for the slash, 3 minutes for the fighting. Team B's in home serves the 30 seconds for the push or hold. I think that's what they meant. And 3 minutes for the fighting, of course. For the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds, because there's 4 minutes a day, 3:30 on B. The first 3:30 is non-releasable. And because we know the order of, or we knew in the live ball scenario who was due to get the ball, all right, A1 slashing B1, that's when we know we can give the ball to Team A, or excuse me, Team B, A1 slash B1. We know we can give the ball to Team B. That's a whole lot of stuff going on. I'm not saying you see it too often, but this is the way you can kind of think about it and kind of work it out in your own brain as you adjudicate these fouls. Last one. B1 slashes A1. You have the whistle. All right. A1 slashes B1. And then B1 tackles A1. So we have a live ball personal foul. We have dead ball personal fouls. Okay. So look at the answer. B1 serves the 1 minute for the slash plus his unnecessary roughness when he tackled him. And then A1 serves 1 minute for his slash. And of course, we know that the first minute of those penalties are non-releasable. And with B1 tackling A1, we know we give the ball to team A because that's the order of when we have the interval 2 dead ball fouls. That's how we determine who's going to get the ball. It's a lot to think about. Yes, Jeff. One thing I wanted to point out was section 9, the goal not counted. Just make sure this is a rule 4 actually. Section 9 is goal not counted. All right. In H, when there is a flag down for a foul by the scoring team, you don't count that goal. And when there is a play on for a foul by the scoring team, you're not going to count that goal either. And you'll adjudicate those fouls and award the ball by the way those fouls occurred. Probably going to B, right? Or the team that was on defense. That's a lot, guys, but I hope seeing it again for those of you who were at our meeting 2 weeks ago, going through these scenarios 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, getting those books, look at the ARs, and kind of study them and understand the different places, live ball, dead ball, live ball, dead ball, how you adjudicate them, and who gets the ball and where. Any questions or comments before we close the meeting?
Hey, Luke, I put a couple of links in the chat. There's a link to a document, a PDF document that talks about it that'll supplement what you talked about if people want to review something on paper. And there's also a video link from our website that discusses simultaneous fouls. That's probably a little bit more of a introduction, not as in-depth as what you talked about, but it's just another resource for the same topic.
Thanks a lot, Mike. That's anything we can do to get us our minds more into this. I know it's complicated especially for our newer guys. And I know a lot of this stuff is like, I've never seen that in all my days, but you never know when you're going to get hit with these kinds of things, and you want to try and have a way. And don't forget, you have your partners, and I'll leave it at that. Take care of your crew, give good information, help each other. The most important thing we can do is get off of that field as a team, get off safely, and hope we didn't mess anything up so bad that, we can never live it down. But if we take care of each other, we can usually figure out these situations and get out of these situations with our heads held high, and continue moving forward, continue learning, continue talking, continue asking our teammates and mentors and people around us, how would you have handled this? And always going back and looking in your rule book and making sure you have a sense of what we do and how we can adjudicate properly. I thank you for your attention, guys. I know that's a lot. I appreciate your attention, and I'm I'm wishing you guys a great rest of the training season here. The scrimmage coming up on Saturday. I hope that goes well for all you guys who are involved in it. And I know the season's coming up soon, so I'm excited for everyone. Thank you for your attention, and we will see you down the road.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Luke.
Luke.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.